I think you've seen this clip roaming around Sonic social medias for a while. The Sonic Frontiers mod that does not change a single thing with the actual movement of the game. Just a mod that isn't fast, but somehow feels 5 times faster than the base game, with speed effects and speed effects alone. That's insanely impressive, I won't lie. However, it does make you think about Sonic's history with speed effects, creating the illusion of speed. Multiple Sonic games had them: Sonic Unleashed, Sonic Generations, maybe some of Sonic Colors and Forces, and you find that some of the techniques in those speed effect mods for Sonic Frontiers are very similar to some used in these previous games, especially the two 7th generation boost games. Sonic Unleashed for the Xbox 360 or PS3, and Sonic Generations, which are basically known as the face of Sonic's boost formula, and the best this formula has ever given us, which I don't necessarily agree with because reasons. Comparing these games with the more recent Sonic games, Sonic Frontiers and Shadow Generations, you find that yeah, these two games are far faster. In 2025, they added a Sonic Frontiers cyberspace level into Sonic Unleashed Recompiled, and it ended up being faster than Sonic Frontiers. But we still have to wonder why they took these speed effects away. They looked amazing in Sonic Unleashed and Generations, especially Unleashed, which is the hardest boost game. The exhilarating feel of speed, plus the challenge of the level design, plus the high scale ceiling and the S-rings, is what makes Sonic Unleashed day stages so fantastic. And is one of the reasons the game is glazed by Sonic fans so hard that they become toxic and insufferable freaks that want your head for criticizing the game, even the completely unrelated gameplay style, and in my opinion, it shows. The joy of playing Sonic Unleashed is like no other game. It's so good. I remember when my father downloaded the Xenia emulator into my PC when I was a little kid, and I got to play Windmill Isle 2 for the first time. I could not stop replaying the level to get better and better, mastering every corner of the level, and I bet this was the experience of many people while playing this game. Heck, even IGN's famous Sonic Unleashed reviewer gave the day stages respect. Yeah, sure, he was playing like a 5-year-old, but he was enjoying it and admitted he would have given the game a solid 8 out of 10 if it wasn't for the werehog. That's a side of the review that no one really talks about. Most people just show off the bad gameplay and the mindless werehog hate, but people forget he had this level of skill, yet he still liked the stages. But okay, Davey, what's the deal with the modern Sonic games not having speed effects? Well, it might not sound like much. I'm a 2020 Sonic head. I like Sonic Frontiers and Shadow Generations a lot. I have nothing against these games. However, I still have criticism as to why they for some reason removed all these amazing speed effects that were in the original games. I've been hearing so many complaints as to why those games are slow and boring when in actuality a good 75% of that speed could be replicated in those games with no game design changes, purely with proper speed effects. And the part that annoys me the most is they can 100% do it. Sega has been giving far more freedom to Sonic Team with their deadlines since Sonic Frontiers turned out successful after a delay. And Shadow Generations was really polished. Even Crossroads, which is not even a platformer, had no effects during its betas, and it looked boring. I'm including Crossroads in this because Sonic Team made that game, and only in the final betas that the option of a dynamic camera was added, which sure, it's one effect, but it's the many that Sonic Team can do as seen in the boost games, which felt far faster and way more exciting. So I want to cover what these speed effects are and how they were used in the early Sonic games to create this amazing feel of speed they had. So with that said, take your VFX studying notes and enjoy. Because Sonic Unleashed is far more enjoyed by hardcore Sonic fans, aka my audience, I will use Sonic Unleashed as a main example for this video. The first thing Sonic Unleashed does, and frankly the most basic one, is the camera. The camera is normal when Sonic is at a slow speed, but when he picks it up, the camera gets closer and closer to you. This is the most basic effect, but even in Sonic Frontiers with the changed camera slide, you know how it just feels faster. Even better when you use the latter mod. But that's just the beginning. It's the consistency here. The camera is always getting closer to you when you go fast, and that makes it so immersive. This is called the field of view, or FOV for short, and when you program a mechanic that regulates it according to your speed, it just looks amazing. Now, as I said previously, there are other effects that make you feel faster, which is the blur. In Sonic Unleashed, the faster you go, the more blurry the layout around you looks. Not blurry like Colors Ultimate in the Nintendo Switch, but a natural blur. Because when we humans look into an object, everything around us is bound to be blurred. Basic eye science. That's why it makes the pieces of media that use it so real and immersive when done properly. There are other really cool effects, like the animation of the character feeling fast. If you want to know more about these speed effects, I recommend checking out this very short video of a Subway Surfers-like game where it's made to feel fast with nothing but speed effects. Just showing it off here, it's actually fascinating. But just adding those effects isn't the key to a good game with them. What makes them work is the message they're trying to get across to your brain. When everything around you blurs naturally, that's the game communicating to your brain, hey, look at this blue guy here, lock in on him. Same for the camera getting closer to you. The wind effects and the consistency of these effects showing up as a result of boosting, and it matches the design of the game. The game is telling you to lock the heck in with those speed effects, and the level design of the game is made for you to make these extreme fast decisions, whether you're just trying to reach an alternate path, destroy more enemies, or just avoid an obstacle. It's this amazing consistency between what the game is psychologically trying to tell you and what the level designers and developers intended the game's fun zone to be. The place in which you are as a player, where you are using everything to your benefit as intended by the developers and having a ton of fun. The result is a genius design that leads to flow state. Flow state is an optimal state of consciousness where time flies by, everything around you fades away, all your thoughts disappear, and you are completely absorbed in the present moment. This is a state where the world's top knowledge workers, scientists, athletes, and you name it are in their greatest achievements, and Sonic Team was able to perfectly replicate that very neuroscience in the Boost games thanks to those effects. It's also known that flow state increases the brain's production of dopamine in order to enhance brain functioning, the neurochemical behind fun at its truest and purest form, which is exactly what a good game is supposed to be. Let me give you another example from a game I've been playing lately, Batman Arkham City. This game, as well as the Batman Arkham series of video games in general, is known for an amazing combat system that immerses you into the feeling of being Batman, as well as being literally called free flow. In the game, once your combo meter hits the number 8 or 5, you unlock new special moves and you start to move faster. But as the game advances and you gain XP by keeping high combos in all your moves, you are able to purchase the free flow focus mode as a combat upgrade. In this mode, you're faster, more aggressive, and the stakes of losing that combo, which could be getting hit or just pressing the attack button on nothing, get way higher. And as a result, the game creates a blurry effect with everything around you. New red energy coming out of the combo number as you fly across enemies, and it is as fun as it looks. Now imagine taking that feeling away. Yeah, you're still faster and you deal more damage, but the cool factor in the psychological meaning of free flow focus mode is partially lost. Which leads us to the 3D Sonic games of the 2020s. Sonic Frontiers, Shadow Generations, and Sonic Frontiers again. I'm sorry, I could not say this, bro. These games both have design philosophies that would 100% fit the games. Sonic Frontiers is an open world Sonic game where you travel around multiple islands, boosting, collecting rings, and etc. In Shadow Generations, the sequel to Sonic Frontiers, Generations, and Shadow 5 all together in one great boost game that was released in a collection right beside the original Generations, and despite being tighter in controls and more open-ended, still keeps the philosophy of the boost. These newer games are, of course, far more open-ended than the early boost games, that are far more linear in that regard, but that is even more unfortunate. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a Sonic game that is open-ended, like Shadow Generations, but with paths and alternate routes, and still keeps the extremely fast feel of the previous boost games. Now you got an insanely unique and unforgettable experience. Heck, Generations proves that would work amazingly thanks to Seaside Hill, which contains an insane level of openness. The idea that a Sonic game can't do that because it's not linear is just not right in my opinion. Listen, I only became a Sonic fan in 2023, 3 years into the worst decision of my life, huh? But when I was a kid, at a friend's birthday party, before I played Sonic Unleashed, he had Sonic Generations in there because he really liked Sonic. And because I had already played Sonic Mania, which I thought was alright, I knew there was something more to the feeling of speed in an authentic 3D Sonic game. That's when I went to Sky Sanctuary Act 2. I still remember that day. I didn't know how to boost, so I played it normally. To me, it was great. The game felt very fast, but I got hits a lot. The game punished me for going fast. Ironically, that is what makes people not like Sonic games very much. But when I saw it, instead of going, this game punishes me for going fast, I hate it, I was like, so I must earn the never-ending speed. That's when I thought, if I got better at the level, mastered it, memorized the obstacles and everything, I would be able to go fast. In the middle of the party, I discovered the boost, and that was just unforgettable, man. But it all began because, boosting or not, I felt fast and I wanted to keep that speed. It didn't matter if it was actually fast for real or not for me. Because, sorry to break it for you, video gaming is just a bunch of light wavelengths appearing in your TV screen as a result of a highly sophisticated connection between an object in your hands and a televising screen. The fun is the illusion. Like storytelling, no characters you've ever watched or felt for were real. They're imaginary beings that never and never will exist, and the art of storytelling is the professional skill of creating that very illusion. It's no different than visual effects in movies or TV shows, but the feelings you get from that, those things will always be real. In conclusion, speed effects matter. I like Sonic Frontiers, I like Shadow Generations. These games have a level of good control I believe no Sonic game has ever achieved. However, I do want the future of the Sonic series to be rich in those effects again. Of course, us hardcore Sonic players might not care much for it. Of course, some do, but most don't. Sonic X Shadow Generations was so good it didn't fit the negative agenda of Sonic Twitter, so no one talks about it anymore, and we're still stuck in Frontiers discussion 4 years later. Seriously, no one talks about this game anymore. I hope you learned something new from this, or at least left this video with more respect for what I want to say, and with all that said, bye bye.